mature audiences, listener discretion is advised. The views spoken are ours and ours alone, not those of any other bugger. If you're easily offended, we strongly suggest finding another podcast. Everybody neat and pretty, then on with the show.
Well, and welcome to 2016 and another year of Dis After Dark. I am Nick.
And I'm Paul D. Soon to be the other Paul again. More to be revealed there.
Yes, indeed. So don't worry for anyone that's concerned. And I know a lot of podcasts for some reason seem to be doing a lot of personnel changes at the moment. But Mr. Boniface is still around. I mean, you heard his dulcet tones at the start of the show there anyway, but yeah, he's still very much with us, just very busy at the moment and unable to join us as much as he'd like to. You know, we had a team discussion about what we should do with his continued absence and felt the show could do with a little bit of new blood. So, you know, we thought we'd like to increase the membership once again. And also Mr. Lucas isn't available tonight either for this show, unfortunately. So he's still very much a part of us as well. But we have had two people who have raised their hands, said that they love doing stuff for free. Love the abuse online that they're going to hopefully get from people listening, and wanted to join the show. So we have two new members of the team, and well, we'll let Chris introduce yourself first.
Oh, hi everybody. Yeah, I was on last time around. It's Chris Ripley, author of the Unofficial Story and Guide to Halloween Horror Nights.
Indeed.
Hey, Chris. Welcome back.
And we've also got another guest and also another new host. And as Mr. Dolan alluded to, and it seems to just be a nasty habit with us, we seem to only be able to attract people with the name Paul. So it is another Paul. Mr. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep, my name's Paul Washington. I was on a few podcasts back talking about Disneyland Paris. So yeah, I'm back again.
And a runner as well.
Yeah.
As well, official runner of Dis After Dark at the moment.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you're probably running more than the rest of us at the moment, so there is that. But
I used to do a bit of running, but I haven't done any since.
what was that? School or?
No. I did one Run Disney race, and it was so difficult. I didn't want to do any more.
Wow. Okay. Because yeah, I mean, I famously was running a few years back until injury stopped me, and I haven't been able to start again since. But enough about our running and everything like that. You know, Dis After Dark wouldn't really be an episode of Dis After Dark unless I said, guys, what are we drinking?
Okay, go for it.
Sorry, Paul.
That's all right. Go for it, Chris.
Oh, I was going to say, the one I'm drinking, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's a strawberry-based cider. It's Recordelig.
Oh, Recordelig, yeah.
You know it? You know it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I saw it in the supermarket, and I didn't realise that it's actually the base of a few Disney cocktails. So.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It is, yeah. I looked it up, and you can. It's the base of a couple of cocktails up at the Californian Grill.
In Paris?
No, in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Who'd have thought?
I didn't know they had it in Florida, but there you go.
Yeah.
No, but I suppose there's a few unusual drinks that imported drinks that they had because of, I suppose, Epcot and stuff like that. So, but that's interesting. I never knew. Well, there you go. They're out there. See, not only that, we've got two new co-hosts on the show, and they're already overshadowing the originals
I don't know about that.
With their Disney constructions. Mr. Washington.
I'm being really boring because I'm struggling a little bit with a bit of cold. So I've gone for the only real hot drink that any Disney fan should be drinking, hot chocolate.
I thought he was going to say Bovril, but not for any particular reason, to be honest. But fair enough. Mr. D.
Just for Paul's benefit, we have found on this show in the past that Lemsip with your shot of your chosen alcohol does actually work wonders. It doesn't actually cure anything, but you feel better for
Just
quite
knocks
a while.
you out for a while.
Yeah.
So it's always fun.
So I'm drinking a bottle of Big Wave Golden Ale. So there's a connection there to Typhoon Lagoon, but it's made by the Kona Brewing Company, Kone, as in the Kona Cafe. And thanks to my daughter Heather, who bought me that for the podcast for Christmas. Cheers.
Oh, that is very thoughtful.
It was.
Thinking of her dad in the podcast. Thank you very much.
Yeah, she is old enough to buy alcohol. I should add that in.
Yes, yeah. It would be a different story if my daughter bought me any alcohol.
We don't condone the corruption of minors on this podcast.
Since when? Have we changed the rule book since we got new people on? Now, you mentioned Lemzip, which kind of allures to what I'm going for. So, like Mr. Washington, I've also fighting off a cold, but I've had my shots of mucus cough medicine. By the way, it doesn't contain mucus. It's anyway. But you mentioned Lemzip. And during our hiatus over the Christmas break, we lost Lemmy, the lead singer of Motorhead and rock legend. So I thought, in tribute to him, I'll still have my soft. So I've got my Pepsi Max Cherry, which is just kind of open up there. But in the glass, already a little bit warm, is some Gentleman Jack. So that's my tribute to Lemmy, not known as Lemzip as far as I know by anybody, but I'll stand to be corrected if that is indeed the case. And if anyone wants to correct us, of course, they can visit our website at www.disafterdark.com, or they can email us at podcast@disafterdark.com.
And we're on Twitter, of course, at DisAfterDark, facebook.com/DisAfterDark. You can find us there also.
Yes, and also blogspot.co.uk/DisAfterDark, I believe, as well. Or it could be disafterdark.blogspot.co.uk. But either way, type those words into Google, it will come up. Or Ask Jeeves, or no one uses Bing, do they?
Is Jeeves still going?
I don't know.
No idea.
No. But I'm sure somebody out there will let us know, because they do like to
type into Google, is Jeeves still gone? See what happens. There'll be some explosion. The internet will collapse.
Break the internet.
The internet will eat itself. Yes. So we did, as you said, it was a new show, new year. So we did put a note out on the interweb via Ask Jeeves, Alta Vista, AOL. Who else?
Other redundant search engines are available.
There you go. And we did get some questions in, not just for the new guys, but in general. So I thought we'd kick off the show with some of those. And the first one, I believe, is from somebody called Craig Lucas, who I'm sure has got a connection with the show somehow. Who said he'd like to. You've unfriended him, did you say?
Unfriend him.
Yeah, I would.
Quick.
And as long as you do it when he's not driving the train that you're on, you're fine. Who said he'd like to welcome the new co-hosts. So there you go. And find out their Disney history, their first park visit, their favourite park and favourite ride, favourite restaurant watching. I'm guessing watching, this is witching here, the Disney universe. And I'd also be interested in any ideas they have for any segments I'd like to bring to the podcast. Well, that one, guys, you can leave at home. But that was quite a big question. So what I'll do is I think we'll break it up into those. So we'll start with Chris. Chris, what was the first park you visited? And I'm guessing this is Disney rather than, Alton Towers or Thorpe Park or something like that.
Well, the first Disney one was Paris, back when it was Euro Disney all those years ago. We went there once, and then we thought we'd try Orlando. So the year after that, we went to Orlando. So that was early 90s.
Okay. Did you go opening year? Can you remember? Or
I think it was the year after opening year. I wasn't. I'm in my early 30s now, so I wouldn't have been very old. But I remember it being really, really empty. I mean, like super empty.
That sounds like 93 then, because that's when the proverbial hit the fan. Yeah. Or van. Could have hit a van. Who knows?
The Coco van, yeah.
Coco van. Oh, good French. God, Mr. D, I think we made the wrong choice. These guys are way too funny for us.
Yeah.
And
they know how to speak French. My God, what a trouble.
Cock a van. Shut
Yeah.
nerve the pap. Paul W, your first one, please.
My first park was Hollywood Studios, and it was Boxing Day 2007. So I let myself into the madhouse straight from the word go.
Yeah.
Obviously being busy at that time of the year, and it only gets busier over the actual holidays. And it didn't put me off.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good,
Yeah.
I suppose, really, for this podcast's benefit. But it's quite funny because my first trip to Orlando was September 2007. So not that far apart, really. Although I had been to Disneyland Paris quite a few times before then. And Mr. D, wasn't yours Disneyland at opening week or something?
Yeah. I stood beside Walt.
Tapped him on the shoulder.
Welcomed everybody to this happy place.
Didn't you inspire him to say that?
Yeah, I just mentioned it to him, and then he goes and blots it out. I thought, what a... Yeah. Anyway,
No,
the guy was under pressure.
Yeah, no,
It's a big day. It's a big day for him.
You can understand.
It was supposed to be called Dolan Land. Okay, that's the truth. But he swiped everything.
It was all built with a Dolan.
Yeah.
So, that was your first park visit, but out of all of them that you've been to, what's your favourite park, Chris?
Crikey. Probably... I don't know. Probably either Disneyland in California or Magic Kingdom, I think. Just
Magic Kingdom in World.
in World, yeah.
Okay. And yourself, Paul?
I'm going to go for California Adventure. I just love the relaxed feeling of that park. It's completely away from some of the other parks. It just isn't that rush. It just seems like there's a bit of space for you within that park.
So is that post all the changes, Cars Land?
No, I haven't been since Cars Land.
All right, okay.
But previous to that, I still think because Cars Land was kind of an addition, it wasn't part of the park at the time. So that was new land that they used. So what was there is all still there. So it hasn't really changed that much other than Cars Land.
So when was the last time you were there then, Paul?
2011. So
11. Okay.
They were building it at the time.
Yeah, just before, wasn't it? Yeah.
But they changed all the entrance by that time? The sort of front section of the park?
The entrance wasn't open. We had to go inside. So, and didn't see any of Buena Vista Street.
Right.
Any of that was all off.
Okay.
That is a shame.
Yeah.
I think, anyway.
Yeah. Be interesting to see that part now.
Cars Land is definitely something pretty unique. There's nothing quite like Cars Land anywhere else. Mm-hmm. It's another level of theme in that place.
It'd be interesting because I think before Star Wars, I think it was almost a given that there was gonna be Cars Land there, but I'm not so sure now. I'm not sure.
For a long time.
No, I don't know if they're going to take up some of that because it was going to be, if I remember correctly, the plan was where the backlot tour was.
Yeah,
and I think that's being earmarked for Star Wars now. So I wonder what that means going forward.
Yeah, there's still talk of an indoor Radiator Springs Racers, but whether anything comes of that, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's good though that they keep unique things in the different parks.
Well, it makes you want to go to other parks because to be honest, if there wasn't that many different things between Disneyland and Disney World, other than the fact that it was the park that Walt, visited and built himself, why would you go to Disneyland?
Yeah.
If everything was the same.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah.
Fair enough. So, with that in mind, I suppose the next question really is favourite rides.
Crikey. Favourite rides? Probably Tower of Terror. Probably Radiator Springs, if I'm honest. And yeah, I mean, I used to like Soaring, but it got to the point where the film got so bad, it was all jumpy and flicky, and so I can't wait till the new Soaring starts this year. So probably those.
Yeah, good choices.
Yeah, well, and then you got the classics, haven't you? You know, Haunted Mansion, Splash Mountain, Thunder Mountain. So I like them all.
Paul?
I'm going to go for one of the classics. I still love Pirates of the Caribbean. All three versions that I've been on they've all got their own little unique things in them that I still love. Like the Paris one obviously still hasn't got the animatronics that they've got in the States. But there's bits of the Paris one that are just great. But then the queue in California is wonderful. I love the queue in California.
Yeah, I think what I remember about the California one is it's much longer than the Florida one, and then that first scene where you go through the bayou and the Blue Bayou restaurants there.
Yeah.
I think that just adds something. I think it is a better ride in California than it is in Florida.
Have you eaten in the restaurant, the one at California, Paul?
No, I haven't. No, we didn't. We when we've been out to California, we've only done like a day in the parks. So it's kind of been rushing around to get the rides done. So we've had quick food while we've been in California. So we haven't, but we would like to the next time we go.
I had this dish in there. You wouldn't believe it. I don't know if you've had it. It's called a Monte Cristo.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Have you heard of it? Oh.
It's a fried sandwich, isn't it?
Honestly, I mean, our friends north of the border in Scotland, I think they would, even they would grimace at that. It was absolutely, out of this world. It was like a giant sandwich covered in donut batter, then deep fried.
Well, Mr. I mean, come on. I mean, that's your gravitas, surely.
I know. Well, actually, truth be told, the last time we went there, which was 2008, we booked to go to Blue Bayou, and I wanted to try this Monte Cristo because I've heard of it. But we'd gone out for breakfast that morning, and we were so stuffed that when we got to the restaurant, we just couldn't face it. So we just went for a snack. We passed on it, and I think I've regretted it ever since. I wake up at night with the meat sweats.
It's quite funny. Some people regret it after having it as well.
Yeah. One day.
But I mean, are we discounting the Paris version?
No, I think the Paris version's good. I think well, for me, I'd go California, Paris, Florida would be my ranking.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, that's before it all gets changed very soon. Because they are updating the Paris one, aren't they? But
yeah,
I do just like the extendedness of the Paris. Well, I've not done California, so I can only compare Paris and Disney World. But I prefer the ride in Paris, and the film bits are quite nice, I suppose, in a way, because that's where the franchise has gone. But I like the original. I do like the original. Right, so I think we might have just covered it a bit, but favourite restaurant whilst watching the Disney universe?
Probably I like Gico. I don't know if any of you chaps have eaten there.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, long time ago, but yeah, it's good.
Honestly, I agree. It's really, really good. It's really nice staff. The food's really good. Service is always brilliant. It's at the top end. It's California Grill sort of prices, but it's not as busy. It's a lot laid back. It's quite nice. It's a real sort of special sort of dining experience. So I do like Gico.
Where's that?
In the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Okay. The name rang a bell, but it's one that I definitely haven't been to. So.
Yeah, it's not. A lot of people I've spoke to, they get put off a bit. They say, "Oh, it's African food, blah blah blah. I'm not going to like it. It'll be spicy and it'll be this, it'll be that." But it's not. It is very similar to anything you'll get at the other signature restaurants. It's just got a slant a bit towards Africa, really.
Well, if we all felt like that, we'd never have Taco Bell, for God's sake.
And wouldn't that be terrible?
Well, yes. I mean, some people argue it is terrible anyway, but that's not the point. Sorry. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, for those who don't know, I mean, at the Animal Kingdom Lodge and Kidani Village. They got 3 restaurants there, and they're 3 of the best restaurants on property, really. You got Chico, which is the signature one, and at Kidani Village you've got Sanaa, which is excellent, and then you got Boma, which is the buffet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's got to be one of the best buffets on site. It's not a character buffet, but it's really good. So they got some. It's worth a trip out there. They got some great restaurants, and the Animal Kingdom Lodge itself, Jambo House, is amazing. Walk around. Anyway, sorry. Back to the questions.
It was all tied in, so it's not like you started talking about Star Wars again. Chris, what about yourself?
There's 3 that I would probably pick. I like Inventions at Disneyland Paris just because of its position right in front of the park. You can see down Main Street. Then I picked 1900 Park Fair at the Grand Floridian. We did the breakfast buffet, and the character interactions there is great, and it's not your regular characters that you'd see everywhere else. And the last one, I'm going for a quick service one. I love the Flame Tree Barbecue at Animal Kingdom.
Nice.
I can't say I've done Park Fair. I've never done Inventions, actually.
No, me neither.
I've always wanted to, but it's just it's because it's quite pricey. So, not that it's put me off because I did California Grill at Disney World at least. But yeah, I to me, because of the fireworks, I'd always go California Grill in Florida at the Contemporary. But yeah, that mainly for that reason, the ambience, the fact that you can see the fireworks from there is appealing. I don't want to be liking at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when you don't see the fireworks, to be fair. But I mean, the food will still be good, but yeah, you lose that bit of atmosphere, don't you? I suppose.
Good choice on the Flame Tree Barbecue, though. I like that. Good ribs, yeah.
I've heard a lot of good stuff about that, but I've never.
Yeah, it's good.
Now another. So thank you, anonymous Craig, for those questions. Hang on 1 second. Sorry. This cough is really getting to me. Another former guest, actually, Adam, says, do you think Mary Poppins gave it up for the chimney sweep?
God blame me, Governor.
Very good. So, Paul.
Which one?
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't want my history.
We know your history.
Yeah. Go, Paul.
Yeah, she definitely did. Probably before we even saw the story start in the film. I bet they were when they were a bit younger.
Oh, so you're pining for a prequel like we had with
yeah,
Magnificent or something, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, call it Poppins or something. Fair enough. Chris, do you want to argue with that, or are you in agreement there?
No, I agree, because in the film, Bert knows her, so before we meet Mary, so must have been something going on there.
And
she did say she was practically perfect in every way.
The whore. Cheers, Adam. Alex Train said best moderate result, which I don't think was a slam at any of us. I think they meant the types of hotel, mainly at Disney World. So, Chris, do you have a favourite moderate resort?
I don't know really. I mean, a lot of people swear by Port Orleans. I mean, there's a certain website that we all know rhymes with fib, and they all seem to stay at that particular resort. But
that's why I don't.
Yeah, So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question really. I mean, that's the one everyone swears by. I mean, I've spent quite a bit of time over at the the one near the Animal Kingdom. It's not the Animal Kingdom. It's on the way there.
The Coronado Springs.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I always get it if it's Colorado. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that one that's quite nice. I've spent a bit of time there. There's a good restaurant there as well.
Okay. Paul W.
Well, I've only stayed on property once, and it happened to be a moderate resort. So, Caribbean Beach Resort was where I stayed the last time we went. In fact, it's been done up even since then, and we've only been back 18 months, and I think the whole hotel's been done up since then.
Wow.
So they just started doing it while we were there. There was you could tell that they were clearing out some of the rooms while we were there. So yeah, I'd pick that because it's the only one I've stayed at.
I think that's a good enough reason.
Good choice, yeah.
Did you hear the rumour about that resort?
That they were putting DVC in?
No, they were. I don't know about that one, but the one I heard off of another podcast, Jim Hill, little plug, was that they were on about putting that big lagoon that they got there, putting a river in that connects it to Epcot. So then you can get the little boats backwards and forwards to Epcot.
Wow.
That'd be handy, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be quite nice.
It'd make it more popular, wouldn't it? Drive the popularity
Oh,
up.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Which also bumps up the price.
Yeah.
Who needs DVC when you can just bump up the price anyway? Stick some boats in. I'm a cheap git, so we've only ever stayed on value property at Pop Century, which I rate. I mean, the thing is, my kind of go-to when it comes to hotels anywhere really is they're clean, because I only spend about 5 or 6 hours in them every night, not much more. So I don't really care for much else, but yeah, I kind of at least want that. But Mr. D, I mean, you stayed on quite a few bits of property. Have you got a different opinion to that at all, or?
Well, I mean, our first quite a few times that we went, we always stayed in the All-Star resorts. And same as you, Nick, a bed, a shower, place to keep your stuff. And then we started getting deals for Old Key West, where you got the dining plan, so you had to go up to that sort of level. So we love Old Key West, but I don't really think that classifies as a moderate. The only moderate we stayed in then would be Port Orleans French Quarter. We stayed there once, and it was great. I really liked it. A little bit nicer than the All-Star. It was a smaller resort. You could get a little boat to downtown Disney, which I liked. You could walk up the little river to Port Orleans Riverside, which was a much bigger resort, had a restaurant, things like that. I liked Port Orleans French Quarter, but I haven't stayed. I've never even been in Caribbean Beach, so I don't know what that's like. Coronado Springs, never stayed there, so a bit like Paul, really got limited knowledge.
Yeah, but
Where
if anyone wants,
I was
going to say, if any listeners want to fund us some trips, so we can actually, have more of opinions about these kind of things, then get in touch, because we're open to that.
Yeah, or come on and fight for your favourite.
No, I'd much rather them pay for us to go and have our own opinions.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
No,
funded like a
funded trips.
Kickstarter. Yeah.
Yeah. That'll not work.
Oh,
So where
okay,
did Craig stay on his trip recently? He stayed at Moderate.
No, didn't he stay? At,
Stayed at Universal, didn't they?
Yeah, he stayed at
Cabana Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Universal Moderate.
Is there such thing as a moderate at Universal?
Oh, that's what they're building, isn't it? In the moderates at the moment. So this will be Cabana Bay would be the value, I suppose, would it? Or...
Yeah.
No, I don't think any of them are value. I mean, I know Hard Rock's very expensive, but
Well, they're building Sapphire Falls, which is going to be a moderate. That comes online this year.
Mm-hmm.
But the others, I know Hard Rock and Portofino are the most expensive. So I don't know.
But hey, if you want to go and talk about that kind of garbage, then you know where to go. You won't pay. And Alex also had one other question, which kind of alludes back to our last show, actually. Does Luke still have his green one, or does he take the blue one back? Now, before anyone says anything, not a penis joke. We're clearly talking lightsabers. Once again, not a penis joke. So, I'm guessing that alludes to, The Force Awakens. And I don't know. Is the answer? I don't know.
Luke's lightsaber is the one that Ren finds, isn't it? In the box.
Ray, yeah.
Ray, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is, but it's blue, isn't it?
Yeah, that was Anakin's original one.
That's right.
It was the one that Luke had and lost on Cloud City. I think, because Return of the Jedi, he had a green lightsaber, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is, I have an iPhone. It usually lasts 2 years. I mean, do lightsabers last 20, 30 years?
They've got to have better batteries than Apple products, surely.
Yeah,
got to have, haven't they?
Yeah.
Imagine you're fighting, whoever, and your battery runs out.
Yeah.
Now, why didn't Energizer do a commercial for that?
Well, actually, Duracell have got Star Wars advertising on their packs.
Well, that's what I mean. But the adverts I've seen have been quite funny, but not one of them has been like, halfway through a fight, Kylo Ren's lightsaber starts cutting out.
And shouts for a couple of double Ds.
That's
it. Couple of Ds.
Oh, and blatantly double Ds because
double Ds. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be taking any regular size batteries. In fact, it's only because of the size of the lightsaber handle that it doesn't take one of those big ass rectangular ones you used to get in science class. Do you remember those?
Yeah, that would be hard to wield, that, wouldn't it?
Well, that's what I mean. So I reckon there's a special size for that. But
the thing is, I've got to say though, right? I mean, my Christmas tree lights now are LED, and you can change the color. So to think that these lightsabers haven't got like a dancing light mode, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Luke just doesn't know how to operate it properly.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Do you reckon they're LED
didn't get
then?
to finish his training, did he?
No, I suppose he didn't finish his training.
No.
Yeah, which explains why he's such a crappy salesperson. I suppose. I hadn't thought of it like that, actually. But I'm sure isn't it just like a crystal thing? Am I not right in thinking it's just a crystal inside the handle that changes the colour of the lightsaber? I'm sure he fiddled about with it.
Yeah, you might be right.
Maybe I should watch some more Star Wars cartoons or something. Vicky Marie, who is also a long-time listener to the show and is going to help us with some bits going forward, asked, what new announcements are you hoping for the parks this year? So we'll all answer this question, I think, but we'll start off with Chris.
Well, I mean, they have announced quite a lot of things already of what's happening and what's not happening. But,
no, forget that. Forget what we know.
Okay.
Well, remember what we know, actually. So nothing that we know.
Well, I think it was today or yesterday, the Aladdin show in California Adventure shut down forever.
Yes.
To be replaced by Frozen. Just because we needed more Frozen things. And that show is really good. So if it was to be transferred over to Florida, maybe get rid of Beauty and the Beast or something, that would be a good announcement.
Yeah, because I've got to be honest, I've never seen that Beauty and the Beast show.
No?
Yeah.
No, just never really, Fantasmic did, but I don't know, Beauty and the Beast thing just didn't really. I wonder, because we're in London, we're getting Aladdin, the musical, from Broadway later this year, and I'm not sure how much the California show is like the Broadway show.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It was a good show.
I heard the Broadway version had the actual bloke who did the Jafar voice play Jafar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's coming over to London or not. That'd be
I
interesting.
don't believe so. I think he's staying on Broadway.
Yeah, sometimes they do, but yeah, I've not seen. Well, they've not announced any cast yet, have they?
We'll probably get Michael Ball and someone like that.
We should be so lucky. Who doesn't?
Brian Connolly, possibly.
Brian Connolly, yeah.
Brian Blessed.
You could play the Sultan.
He'd be a good genie.
He'd be a good father to Jasmine. Got the right body shape.
Yeah, that's the point.
Quite rotund. I suppose if Richard Blackwood's finished up in EastEnders by that point, maybe he could do a genie, because he did Donkey so well in Shrek.
Oh, yeah.
You see that?
Highly ironic.
I didn't see that.
Only slightly, mind you. Yeah, I mean, so that'd be good. Yeah, I could see that. I think because I mean, I don't know. How long's Beauty and the Beast been going on at studios for?
Long time.
Very long time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, we thought in '98 and it was on then.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so it's due for a change, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well overdue.
Okay. Paul, what would you like to hear as an announcement?
Something Marvel related in the parks. Something more than just a couple of meet and greets. They've had this property that's been making them tons of cash for 5-6 years now and done really nothing. And I know with the Florida stuff, they can't really do a lot other than use characters that Universal haven't used, like the Guardians. But California's prime for it. And there just doesn't seem to be anything forthcoming.
No, it's weird. I'm almost surprised actually because they've announced there's is it an Iron Man ride or Avengers ride at Shanghai?
Yeah, Iron Man. Yeah.
So I'm almost surprised that they haven't announced plans for that. Actually, that's quite a good point because if they've already got the property, like if they've already got all the blueprints and everything like that, and I imagine some ride footage or whatever it is that it's going to be like. That it should be quite easy to port over. So it's, you get it in Florida. You understand why they can't do it in Florida. But yeah, I understand what you're saying there.
But when does that deal run out with Universal on the
it doesn't.
East Coast?
No,
doesn't it?
It doesn't run out. As long as they abide by the conditions, it carries on forever, really.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. I thought it was
one of these things where because if I remember right, it was signed at a time when Marvel were kind of like in the doldrums anyway.
Oh, they would have signed anything back then.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So without thinking, because it's a bit like the X-Men deal with Fox, in that it's been their biggest regret because Fox, as long as Fox keep making movies every so many years,
that's right.
It rolls over, and that's why things like Daredevil and the Punisher and Ghost Rider have now become free properties, and they've been able to do series about them because not Ghost Rider, but they could if they wanted to, because the rights to make films weren't renewed. They missed their deadlines to start production on new film, and so the rights went back to Marvel. They're never going to let that happen to X-Men.
No. Sony's done a good deal with Spider-Man though, doing a partnership. That's quite interesting. That might make the others that own bits and pieces partner with Disney rather than just keep making their own ones.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Fantastic Four.
Well,
yeah,
I can't see them wanting to make another film after. Like,
no,
how bad
they'll
that
never
one
make a
was.
movie about us. Is that what you're thinking? Well, they might, I suppose.
You'd say that
Who
now.
would play me?
He goes deathly quiet.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Ramsey Nesbitt.
No, he's too old. He's older than me.
Makeup.
I'll need to be CGI, I think.
If you're listening.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Gregor Fisher.
Of course it is.
That's it.
Love Actually. Just saw him recently. Got to watch that at Christmas, haven't you?
I prefer Die Hard at Christmas, but I wasn't able to watch that either this year, actually. Disappointment. Mr. Dolan, what would you like to hear announced to the parks?
Well, okay. I mean, given that I don't think they're going to re-announce that they're going to reopen Disney Quest, and I know I'm probably in the minority on that one.
No, I love Disney Quest. I'm really upset it's going.
Yeah. But I would like to see them doing something major in Epcot. I think it needs a headliner attraction, and just kind of building on what Paul was talking about. If they did and I know they're limited in terms of using characters, but you think about Future World, it was all about technology of the future. You think about things like Stark Industries. Could they do something around that? I don't know what the thing could be, but definitely something in Future World, or even a new pavilion for World Showcase, but something in Epcot. It needs a big attraction.
How about a Frozen ride? Would that be?
Already heard about it.
Well, it's original.
No, it's different to what they had there. I've got to be honest. I gave this a little bit of thought because I never think about things too much. And my announcement I'd love to hear this year is that there's been an accident on the site of Avatar and it's burnt down and the license rights have expired and they're going to build something else like Star Wars or Tron.
Yes.
Or both. That would probably be the only thing that made me happy this year. And I know before I start getting the one person message me on Facebook about it, I know it looks great. I know it's probably going to be wonderful. I just don't like the franchise and I don't think it's right for the park. That's it.
It's going to be really interesting to see what that next movie's like. I mean, if it's a build on the first one, then I think it's completely off strategy for Disney. So it'll be interesting to see how much influence Disney has on that movie.
I think it'll be a flop.
I don't know. It'll be a flop financially.
Not financially. I think it will make a lot less than the previous.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think they've gone too long. I think if they jumped on it quicker, higher chance of it being successful. But I just think it's going to be a different movie, a different feel to it. I think Disney are going to have their influence because now they're going to adapt the movie to the theme park. I think they're going to have to. To make that work.
I think you're right there. Actually, I think that's probably true. Yeah, I mean, the facts, as we record this, Star Wars has just opened up in China and had its third biggest opening and the biggest Disney film opening in history. Do you know what's got the biggest opening in Chinese film box office totals?
Ace Ventura 3.
No. Ace Ventura Kid Detective
That's the one.
Did not actually, and the fact that I know that is, know it but haven't seen it. I will say I haven't seen it. But no, it's not that one. It is actually a film in a big franchise, but not big enough that you'd probably associate it with having the biggest box office of all time in China.
So not Potter then?
Not what?
Not Potter then?
Not Potter, no, it's not big over there. It's actually
Jurassic Park.
No, that had quite a big opening, but I think actually Avengers 2 opened bigger than that. But the biggest opening was and still is Fast and Furious 7.
Wow.
And that's the film that's taken the most over in China, which is crazy. And by the way, I actually saw Age of Ultron over Christmas. Have we all seen Age of Ultron?
No.
Yeah.
Any good?
Yeah.
No, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
Please, if you feel the opposite of that, let me know. It's not a problem. I won't cut your mic off. But I was very disappointed.
Yeah,
Civil War
certainly
looks better.
wasn't. Yeah, Civil War looks much better. Age of Ultron was a little bit lacking at times.
Yeah. Yeah, it to me it had the same kind of feel watching it as Thor 2 did. Electric Boogaloo. Like it just didn't have the same energy as the predecessor, and yeah, it just felt a bit lacking. I was really disappointed. Everyone said Ant-Man's much better, which I haven't seen yet. I will get around to watching it soon. And I think it doesn't help that it followed Guardians, which has been like so loved.
Can I tell you my tenuous link to that film?
Yeah.
We was in LA on holiday a couple of years ago, and we was doing a D23 tour of the Disney Studios in Burbank, and they were reshooting some of the post-credits bit in one of the sound stages, so we could see them filming it, and we were told, "Don't tell anyone. You're not allowed to say anything about it." Blah blah blah. But they were reshooting it because they were trying to tie it in with Guardians in some capacity, and then we came home we came home back to Kent, and they were filming it down at Dover Castle, which was that opening battle scene. It was all filmed in Dover.
What, for Thor 2?
No, Avengers 2.
Oh, Avengers 2. Oh, okay. Right. Still bloody interesting.
I'm looking forward to Thor 3, Hammer Time. That'd be good.
Well, I just watched, the other day I watched a film called, I think it was called like Heart of the Sea or something.
Oh, yeah.
The Moby Dick film. And the whole way through it, I was just thinking, this would end a lot quicker if he just like whips out the hammer.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. And Kevin Curtis Allen says, I hope we're not losing anyone. Well, I don't think we are, Kevin, is a short answer. Obviously, we're not too sure what PB's doing at the moment. There are rumours that he does go around offing people. So really, I think it would depend when he listens back to this show and how the new hosts have got on, if he wants to take any shooty action. So fingers crossed not. But yeah.
The latest I've heard is he's cryogenically frozen. That was the latest rumour.
He's just his head, or
PB
with Walt.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine if you made a cameo in Walt's Frozen Head next year? That'd be great. Mark Peter said, and the embarrassing thing, Mark may hear this, is that I've never known how to say his surname, and when I went out with him a few weeks ago, still didn't want to check. So we'll say Mark Peter anyway. The old host still in AA. And I'm not sure, Mr. Dolan, has your membership expired for your roadside assistance, or is that still going strong?
No, I'm RAC now.
RAC? Well, some have said they're better rates and quicker response times. New co-hosts with the AA at all, or?
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff.
I think I'm RAC.
RAC. No one with green flag. Yeah, those adverts sucked a bit, didn't they? Harry Hill. And who's this? Lee Malaby.
Who?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh, wait, hang on. I think he's from that
favourite Universal
silly
Park.
Yeah, that
Where?
UOP thing.
That's the least question.
And he said, how much do you think Universal's third gate will affect Walt Disney World? Now, I don't know about you. I actually thought that, it's been a while since I last went there, but I thought when I was going through the entrance to Universal that there was quite a few more than 3 gates.
Yeah, there's the one that the cast members come out. I think that's the third one.
And there's one we can buy fast passes, express passes, aren't they? There? But but no, apparently when we've looked into this a bit more, what he's referring to is the new land that Universal have purchased around the surrounding area, and are going to do a third park to go alongside Islands of Adventure. So he says, how much do we think that's going to affect Walt Disney World? Paul, let's start with yourself.
I think it'll affect it quite a bit, especially if they're going to build more hotels. As we've said earlier, Sapphire Falls is just about to open this year. And I believe they've got the planning permission on that land to build at least 2 more alongside this third gate. So I definitely think it will affect it quite a bit. I think depending on what franchises they go with in the other parks will also make a big difference. If they go with the Nintendo deal in that park, I don't think that'll be enough to make a huge dent, but it depends on what else they're going to go with.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Chris, what do you think on that?
Well, I don't think it will make a huge difference, but I hope it will, because I find that at the moment there seems to be, maybe a bit less now, but there was this quite a long period of arrogance with it all for Disney's side, where we're not really going to build anything new or do anything different. We're just going to keep staying as we are. And in the meantime, Universal had spent another 100 million on rides, another 100 million on this, that, and the other. So I really do hope that it does spur another, theme park battle where they're competing with each other much more. But the more Universal does, the more it will be beneficial to fans and tourists and everybody. So more the merrier on my side.
Yeah, to be honest, when you said about the arrogance, I thought you were still referring to Lee Malaby. But personally, I think competition just brings more people to the area, because there are people that I know that will only go to the Disney property, and people that will go specifically, and Lee and Tracy and the guys there obviously would rather spend more time at Universal property. So I don't, it's competition, but it's not. When I go out, I go and want to visit both parks, like both companies. I don't like just choose one or the other, and I think that's it. And like you say, I think it will depend a lot on what they put here. You know, the rumours are still going about the Lord of the Rings. I don't know whether they'll ever get the rights to it anyway. I don't think they'll get them signed off. But to me, it's a little bit like going for Avatar now. It's a bit done. You know, I know Lord of the Rings, like as a series of books, has been around for, you know, a long time and are popular, but I don't know. I think they might have missed the boat with that one if they're going for that. And like you say, if it's Nintendo, which we know they do have a deal with, you know, it isn't Japan. I don't think Nintendo now has the appeal it did 20 years ago.
Well, can I just say right now, and this goes out to Lee and Tracy, if they copy that Fast and Furious ride that's in Hollywood, then they're in for big trouble, because that ride is absolutely horrendous. It was one of the worst rides I've ever been on.
Wow.
It is terrible.
Mr. Dolan, we'll ask for your opinion in a second, but I want to hear more about this ride.
Well, they just put it in as part of the backstage tour at Hollywood. And you're still on your slow-moving, you know, what they call it, tram thing. And basically, it's a bit like, imagine like the earthquake ride as it was, Disaster, but with just 3D screens next to you, some really, really bad CGI and some really, really bad acting from all the people in it. And it's just really, really naff. It's horrible. And if that's coming to Florida, then that's a huge mistake on Universal's part, because it's terrible, that ride.
Now, some people would say that what you've mentioned there about the crappy CGI and the poor acting
I know where this is going.
are features anyway. But you know what? That's a low blow. I'm not going to go there purely because...
I would.
No, I'll tell you what, because, you know, Fast and Furious 7, about 90% of that work in that film with the cars was real. It wasn't CGI. So, you know, I'm not going to have that low blow there. The acting does suck, but I don't watch a Fast and the Furious film for that. But, Mr. D, what do you think about the third gate?
I think a lot of it's been said, really. I think Chris and Paul have made some good points. I think competition is going to be good for everybody. You know, and I'm quite happy. You know, Universal have got some great attractions. Disney's got some great attractions. If this means that the stakes get raised, it'll make Disney try harder. You know, Universal invest. Great, you know, and putting more hotels in. Again, you know, Disney, you know, I don't think they try as hard as they could on some of the pricing. You know, park tickets have been going up every year. We're now around the $100 a day mark. So, you know, I think it could be good for your average guest in the long term. I don't really see any big negatives with it. Or, you know, unless they put in a park, they don't have good quality attractions to fill it initially. Then that could be a problem, because if it flops, then it's going to be like a boat anchor for Universal. So I don't want to see that happen. You know, I want to see them putting in a park that really is successful. Some great attractions, and then you start thinking about, well, what? Because everything's franchise based now. Then what franchise would it be? So
Jaws.
Please bring it back.
They put that back.
Back to the Future.
Original
Yes.
Kong, Back to the Future.
Yes.
Yeah, they could have a retro park.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll go and reach out to my contacts at Universal.
Let's get the Malibis to write a letter. They know everybody there.
Dear Universal. And I mean, to be honest, I know I'm talking like this, that I know Tracy can listen to the show. I know she won't, but if she was, she'd be going, yes, Jaws, yes. So who knows? But I think Mark actually he did reply to the comment on the thread that said he doesn't think it's going to be an issue at all. To combat it, Disney could just put in some comfy couches in front of some video screens to offer the same experiences. And unfortunately, kind of, I get what you're saying there.
Did you hear again what Jim Hill was saying about what they're going to be spending their money on around Bay Lake? very soon.
I did not.
No, I'm a bit behind on Jim.
He was saying that they're going to be spending a fortune building. Wilderness Lodge, they're already doing the DVC extension, so that's happening. They're then going to build another hotel, which is going to be DVC on top of the old River Country. And then the long-term plan is, after that's finished, to demolish the TTC, move that to the Magic Kingdom car park somewhere, make it 3 times the size, and then put a hotel, again DVC, right where the TTC used to be.
Good location.
But the thing is, if they're going to spend millions and millions and millions moving monorail tracks and putting in DVCs, by this time, Universal could have a full gate open. You know, they could be having rides and shows and all sorts going on while Disney's ploughing money into infrastructure again. You know, they need to be building more rides, not keep buggering about with monorails and hotels and things.
Unfortunately, you just keep saying monorails, and all I can think of is Lyle Dannelly and how successful monorails were in East Beaverbrook. And
North Haverville.
and North Haverville, and how they put them on the map. So, monorail. So actually, we had quite a few questions, and I think it was a good way to kick off with you guys joining the show to get some of those. So thank you very much for contributing. Now, somebody did say, probably a simpleton, said about bringing back an old feature which had kind of gone away for a little bit, mainly because I'd mellowed out in my old age of 32, and I said you should bring it back. So to completely unpopular demand of one person, I am bringing back a segment which could be reoccurring. It depends about how much things anger me, but I'm just going to play this.
It's soap dishes sauce.
The loudest jingle in the history of man, of course, is that. And as many of you who hopefully listened to the last show would know, that we talked about The Force Awakens. And we liked that. Paul, you actually wasn't on that last one. Have you seen The Force Awakens? Do you like Star Wars?
I have. I went and saw it on the opening night. I went to a midnight screening.
Perfect. Enjoy it, not enjoy it?
Enjoyed it a lot. Obviously, people have mentioned similarities to the first film, but I don't see that being a problem.
No, I don't. And to be honest, that's the thing. Like from my point of view, I don't think there's anything wrong with people turning around and saying, "Oh, it's a bit too much fan service, and it's almost a remake." I don't think it is this, by the way. I'm just saying, but it could be seen as a remake of Episode 4, and everything like that. And with all films, there are going to be people that love these things, and there are going to be people that don't like these things. It doesn't matter how popular something is, people will, find a way of not liking it, and that's cool. It's all about opinions. That's why we have arseholes. Arseholes are like opinions. We've all got one. However, a very, very old guest on this show, right back to the early days of this show, actually, was famous author in the Disney community, at least, Leonard Kinsey, who's been very vocal about not liking Star Wars. And his main thing, other than apparently faulty plot holes, is his big issue with the film is how he feels the fate of the characters are from the original films. So we're talking Luke, we're talking Leia, we're talking Han, we're talking Chewie. And basically, he feels that this new film, pardon my French, shits all over the legacy. Now, my reaction to that is, it's called Star Wars, not Star Fun. In war, stuff happens. It's not always a happy ending. And yes, by the end of Return of the Jedi, we did get a happy ending. But this series of films was always, if you believe what George Lucas says, was supposed to be a series of 9 films. It was supposed to have a whole story about a group of characters. And who thought that all of these characters would be happy later on in life? Because there was no way that you were going to get Han Solo and Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker be as fulfilled and content and as happy as they were at the Return of the Jedi ending, because that's not how life is. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. But to turn around and completely disregard a film in such a venom-filled way because you're not happy with how you feel the characters that you loved have been made to be. I mean, I thought one of the great things about The Force Awakens is what they did with Han Solo and what they did with Leia. Obviously not so much with Luke because we don't know what that's about, but, you know, he went out as a hero. That whole film, he was a hero. And Leia the same. The fact that they weren't as happy as you wanted them to be is life. And why we should all be unicorns and rainbows about this kind of stuff, I've got no idea. And so I get that people don't love this film as much as other people do. But to be the reason you not even dislike a film, but loathe, hate a film because of that, makes me mad. And guys, you know, how do you feel with that?
I'll be honest, I haven't heard many people speak badly of the film. I think it's a good film. I think a lot of it is people listening to George Lucas, who I think is just a sore loser because he sold it. And
oh, God, yeah.
He's a bit upset that Disney's doing something a bit different to what he wanted to do. But then let's be honest, let's look at the 3 films that he made, you know, episode 1, 2, and 3. If we'd have got them again, it would have been horrendous. You wouldn't be making this sort of money.
No.
So yeah, I'm a bit surprised that people go off a bit like that. But you know, I mean, if you are a big fan of all the cartoons and the comic books and all the games and stuff, then it is pretty in keeping with a lot of that stuff. So it's not a huge departure.
Oh, I see that as well. And actually, just before we went to record the show this evening, there has been an online petition started to get George Lucas back in charge of Star Wars.
Really? Wow.
Apparently so, which blows my mind because have people forgotten episodes 1 to 3? Have they seriously? I mean,
they weren't born when they were out.
Well, I've tried to wipe them out of my head, you know, but they're still there. There's not much we can do about it, and yeah, I mean, obviously in between our last show and this record tonight, his comment about Disney being white slavers,
yeah, that's bad.
Which I mean, I don't even think makes complete sense anyway. I know what he was trying to say, and of course his quick retraction afterwards, mainly because he's got so many Disney shares, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's just kind of mind blowing. I don't get it. I understand it's not the film he wanted to make, but yeah, we've seen what happens when he gets, you know, carte blanche to do what he wants.
Yeah, well, he can go and make his own films now with all his money, can't he?
Yeah, his bank account's not complaining.
Yeah, you can make Red Tails 2. Knock yourself out, son. Chris, anything you wanted to add to that?
Me? No.
Fair enough. And Mr. D?
Not a lot, really. I mean, you know, it was a good film. I thought it might not be. I think the problem is, you know, it's in some people's minds, it's the past is kind of sacred, really, and I don't agree with that. You know, it's a new film, kind of a reboot, kind of a new film, a bit of a combination there. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I don't think any of the original characters will last that long. I don't mean they'll all be killed off by any means, but you know, I think they'll fade into the background and let the new characters, you know, they'll provide a link to the new characters and then we'll move on. I think that's just life, so I wouldn't get too emotional about it and too precious about it. Just sit back and enjoy it, you know.
No, that's it. I think, you know, for me, you needed to have that kind of bridge. As great, and you know, we talked about as great as Rey and Finn and Poe and Kylo, Captain Phasma, at least aesthetically, as great as they all were as new characters, you needed a bridge between that. So you did need to have those old characters in it as well. But to be honest, if they weren't, I mean, they've all been confirmed apparently to return for episode 8, but even if they were only in episode 7, that would have been enough for me. You just needed them to bridge the gap.
Yep.
Those characters are strong enough now. The new characters are strong enough that they could easily look after those last two films. And yeah, I'm with you. To me, I think Luke will probably have a very big role in the new one, and almost be like a Yoda type situation. And I'd be surprised to see him in episode 9.
Yeah.
You know, based on absolutely nothing, then that's just my gut feeling. And you know, if Leia lasts till then, to episode 9 as well, great. But I can also see why, you know, she may not do either. And I don't think it's necessarily what's needed either. But look, we've had, you know, another great Star Wars film. As long as they don't cut the other two up, then that's fine. And yeah, George Lucas, count your money. If you're not happy about it, I'll take some.
Well, he didn't have to sell, did he? You know.
Yeah, and he didn't have to sell to them.
No, he didn't.
If he wanted to sell, and you know, he had his options as, you know, if he really wanted to sell, he could have put his feelers out to everyone and said, right, I'm looking to sell up. You know, I don't know whether he reached out to Disney or they approached him or whatever, but he didn't have to sell at the first opportunity. And he makes it sound like he sold it for £1.
Yeah.
Was it 4 billion? Yeah. 3 billion?
Something like that, yeah.
You know, that's not change. You know, and I mean, I don't even know if he's given up all his merchandising rights, so he might still get a bit of kickback from that, and that's been obviously phenomenal. So, shut up, George.
Yeah, get over it, George.
There's your episode title, Craig. But on that note, I think it's ringing time at the pub. So time, gentlemen, please, and we'll bring those in. But Paul and Chris, thank you very much for joining the team. I hope you are happy to stick around. I said the wages are really crap, but what can we do? But thank you very much for jumping on board. And yeah, I suppose I should really mention again our website, www.DisAfterDark.com, and you can email us at podcast@DisAfterDark.com.
Yeah, and you can find us on Twitter, or you can send us questions like we did tonight. Happy to answer those at DisAfterDark, and also facebook.com/DisAfterDark.
And also there's a new Facebook community which I've set up as a little fan group for Disney fans, for podcasters, for everything like that, which is you just need to search for A Village of Disney Fans on Facebook, and yeah, so you can have conversations and stuff on there as well, because the page isn't, you know, the Facebook page, because of what it is, it's not as interactive as you'd like it to be. So at least this way people can post what they want when they want. And yeah, so find us there as well. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, dear listener, for coming on the adventure, and we'll see you all in a couple of weeks' time.
Good one. See you guys. Have a good one.
See you. Good night.
Growing older is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Dis After Dark, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Yeah, some things don't change.
Should we jump on sofas like they do at the end of Men Behaving Badly then?
The problem with a podcast is that I don't know how much the audio will travel, but you can always try.
Okay.
I'm certainly not going to tell you not to. What your partners, you know, do with that, I can't say. And on that bombshell, we're out.
Nice.